Welcome back to my channel. It's JusMeLah, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the truth about crochet braids. So there are several things that you need to know about having crochet braids that are not widely spoken about. So in this video I'm going to give you an inside look on the maintenance of crochet braids and how to get the best look possible. So when you first put in your crochet braids, they may look something like this side, but over time they will end up looking like this. Now, if this is the look you prefer, where all of the curls are clumped together and defined, then you're good to go. But if you prefer a more frizzy, a bigger, more afro-y look, you're going to have to detangle this. How do you separate it? I separate it the same way I separate my real hair when I'm detangling my hair. So what I do is I'll start from the bottom. So I already did this side. So this side looks like this side, and I already detangled this side. So you could see what the after would be. So I flip this hair, and starting from the lowest cornrow, I'm going to detangle. So I take a clump of hair and I just pull some strands apart, and that's how I detangle it. I just pull the strands away from one another, and this is how I detangle or declump the hair. And you can see the difference between what it looked like before and what it looks like now. You want to be gentle around the edges, around your hairline, because if you install crochets like me, or if your hairline is similar to mine, my hairline is not very dense, and so the foundation isn't as secure and strong as the rest of my head. So pulling or tugging too roughly might release my hair from out of the cornrow and then the crochet hair as well. So just know your head and do what makes sense for you. So for me, when I get to the front, I'm not really gonna try and separate it up through the root. It's more about the ends. And this is the hair fully detangled. So you can see it's larger than life. Finger detangle the hair for more volume and for a more afro-y, frizzy look. Everyone knows about the invisible method or knotless method for crochet braids. Okay, I think it's a great method. I think everyone should use the method, but it is not always the best method to use. Now, for me, the invisible method is easier to do than the knotted method. Using your crochet hook, I can just move through my hair a lot more quickly doing the invisible or knotless method over doing the knotted method. But there still is a time to use the knotted method. You want to do the knotted method around your hairline, the front of your head. So I'm using this cornrow right here. I'm going to demonstrate for you the knotted and the knotless / invisible method. And you'll be able to see why I say do the knotted method at the perimeter of your head. I'm going to pinch off a small piece of hair. I'm going to loop that in my fingers. I have my latch hook. I open my latch hook. I'm going to slide that latch hook under the braid. I'm then going to take this looped hair and hook it on that hook, close the latch hook, slide it through, and this is the knotless method, okay? The invisible method. You take one strand, hook it back onto that latch hook, close it, and pull it through. Now that you've pulled it through, you have one strand on either side of that braid. What's left in the middle, see if your hair falls like this, what is left right in the center? The braid. Granted, I have knotted crochet hairs behind this, so you won't see the full effect, but imagine that all of these were knotless and all of the hair split open to the side. All you would see straight down the center is a braid, okay? That's why I say do the knotted method. So I'm gonna remove this. Now I'm going to show you the knotted method and the difference it makes, okay? And this is a tip. This is the truth about crochet braids. If you do the invisible method all the way around and your hair happens to fall whichever way, your braid will be seen. So do the knotted method. So again, we take our latch hook, it's open. We slide it underneath that braid. We take our hair, we hook it onto that open hook, close that latch, slide it back through, let the hair fall down the needle, and you are going to take both strands, and hook both strands onto the hook, and then close the latch, and then pull it through the loop, pull the hair through, pull it, and what do you see? All you see is a knot now. Okay, there's a knot that is snatching the base of that hair. Now I take about 1/3 of the hair, or maybe 1/4 of the hair. I'm going to loop it to knot it around once. You do it a second time. Then you take that hair that you used to create the loop, you separate it into 2, and you will continue to knot once and then twice, and you're done. And then I'm gonna cut this because I don't even think this is not the same curl pattern. Is it? I don't know, it looks so different. It is a different curl pattern. Let's just hide it for now. So you want to do the knotted method around your hairline, okay? The next thing about the crochet hair and the knots, specifically when you do the invisible method now, the invisible/knotless method, your hair will shift, especially if it's very slippery, okay? That hair will shift. Those knots that are underneath the braid are going to shift from side to side. The advantages of that is if you want to change the part on your hair, you're going to want to shift the knots over. So for example, I have a center part right now. And for the most part, my knots, you can't see them, okay? Why can't you see them? Because they're on this side. You see all of that bulbous stuff right here? It's on this side. But say I wanted to switch my part up and do something like this, I wouldn't want all of this bulbous stuff showing. So I would shift the knot over, right? So I have a knot in the center right here. This knot, that's a knot, right? I'm going to find the 2 strands that make up this knot, and I'm going to shift it back over this way so that you can't see it. I think I found the other strand, the second strand that goes to this knot, okay? So this was the initial strand, and this right here is the second strand. I want you to watch this. As I pull this second strand, you're gonna see this knot go away, okay? I shifted the knot to the other side, and now you don't see that knot anymore. So just shift those knots. That is a pro tip. As you change your part, shift your knots so that it maintains the knotless, the invisible look. For the invisible method, you want to make multiple knots in your hair. So you have your strand. This is the braid we're gonna focus on, this one right here. We already know the deal. Your latch hook is open. You slide it underneath the braid. You hook the hair onto it. You close the latch hook, pull it back through. Invisible method now. How many strands do we put through? 1, yes. You put that 1 strand through, you close the latch hook, you pull it through. Now, do not take that knot off that hook. You're just going to slide it down. It will automatically release the latch, and you are going to, that same strand, put it back on that hair, close it, and pull it through itself. Release it, and you'll do it a 3rd time. Put it back on that hook, close it, and pull it through the loop. And you've now created 3 knots in your knotless method. You are then going to pull that, and those knots are gonna end up underneath the braid. And that's how you create multiple knots, okay? Now, typically, I would not put 3 knots at the front of my head, only because my braid is not as bulky at the front, and so it most likely won't be able to fit 3 knots comfortably. So I tend to reserve the 3 knots for the back of my head, and towards the front I might do 2 or 1. 99% of people are doing crochet braids with synthetic hair. It's not human hair, it's not real. It has a certain luster, certain sheen, a shine to it that can look plasticky. If you have natural hair and you have natural hair that has a low sheen level, specifically 4C, 4B, 4A, that category, and maybe others, it's not going to match the sheen level of your hair. So what can you do about it? Nothing. No, what you can do is you can make sure you get hair that matches your hair. It is going to make the difference between the plastic hair or the synthetic hair and your hair less noticeable. So my hair, for example, I would say I'm about a 2 in my natural hair color. So when I do crochet braids, I look for color 2 hair, because at the very least, the color of the synthetic hair will match the color of my hair, okay? If I get a 1B, it's gonna be a little bit more noticeable, the differences between the 2 hairs, because I have a color difference and then I have a sheen difference. And darker hair, blacker hair tends to look a lot more vibrant and shiny than like browner hair. So having that contrast, you're gonna tell on yourself. It's really not a big deal, but we're trying to get as seamless of a look as possible. So in my case, I wasn't able to find hair that was a color 2. This is an ombre hair, and the ombre styles, I suppose, typically come in a 1B. And so that's what that is. So there is a difference between my natural hair color and the color of the crochet braids, but that's something I have to deal with. Now, as far as the shine level, what you can do is find hair that has a lower sheen level. So this hair to me has a high sheen level, but it's the hair I wanted to use, period. It's the hair I wanted to use. To alleviate that shiny versus dull contrast, I would find a hair that was less shiny. So typically the Marley hairs, the Afro hairs are less shiny, although there are some that, even though they're Marley and Afro hair, still are very shiny. So you just have to inspect the hair when you go shopping for it. And the final truth about crochet braids is you will have to consistently, constantly, on a regular basis, trim this hair. Why do you have to trim this hair? Why do you have to trim this hair? Because if you're like me and you're moving the hair around and you're detangling hair and you're shifting knots back and forth, the length will vary. So if you had the hair and it was even on both sides, right? But then it shifted and now one side is longer, that means whatever shape you created is now not the same. You now have pieces that are longer. As you can see, I have some pieces here that are longer because I detangled the hair and so it shifted. And so what I do is I just go ahead and I just snip, snip, snip. So I would just snip this to get more of that even shape, okay? And that's it. That's the truth about crochet braids. Said he is the truth, said he is so real. And if I am a reflection of him, then I must be fly. Oh, I wonder, does he know? Killed it at the end in a bad way. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope as you go on and do your crochet braids, you are more informed and you have more tools or information to make the best choice possible around the color hair you will use, the kind of synthetic hair you will use, and how to maintain and care for your hair throughout the weeks that you use it. And of course, knowing when to use the invisible method versus the knotted method. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Let's spread the love, let's spread the knowledge, spread the information, so we can all be out here fabulously rocking our crochet braids, okay? And comment down below. I love when people comment. It's like, I don't know, it just makes me happy. Like, I respond, and I'm trying to get my subscriber numbers up. So I'm gonna do my part, and I'm asking you to play your part by sharing the video, subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. I know it can be a little dance between viewer and content creator, because I myself know that when I find new channels, or even if the channel isn't new to me anymore, it takes me a while before I actually subscribe. I have to watch you a few times and figure out, do I want to see you regularly on my timeline, on my feed? Do I want to get notified when you post a video? So I understand if you're in that space. I mean, I guarantee you, you're not going to be sorry that you subscribed. So just go ahead and make that commitment. Don't be afraid. Leap, right? Just make the leap. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.